Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be having a look at this coming Saturday's card here at Fanny Bay, which is Saturday, the 21st of November. After racing just a week ago, the fields are a little on the light side this week, and in fact, we lost a race, the 1600 metre event, due to a lack of acceptors. Consequently, we only have a 4-race card this week before a fortnight's break in advance of 3 consecutive meetings in December. Nevertheless, the fields are competitive, and we'll do our best to guide you into a winner or two. The first race is the One Rail Handicap, a 0 to 64 event over 1200 metres, one of 3 1200 metre events on the day. It's time to go at the mid-afternoon time of 3:10 p.m. Northern Territory time, and in the opener, my numbers are 2, 5 and 3. I'm going here with number 2, Papalette, trained by Gary Clark. I think Gary could be in for a pretty good day, as he normally has. Him and Phil Cole having a great battle in the Trainers' Premiership at this stage, and I think Gary might be able to sneak even further ahead on Saturday. Papalette for me, number 2, Kim Gladwin aboard. Blotted his copybook a little last time out when racing in 0 to 70 grade. Got stuck a little wide in the run on that occasion and dropped out to finish at the tail behind stablemate Divine Red. Prior to that, had won twice over 1100 metres in 0 to 64 grade. Stepping up to the 1200 again is a little bit of a query, but I'm prepared to allow Papalette another chance. So I've got him on top, number 2. To beat number 5, Recording to Win. Phil Cole trains, Wayne Davis rides. Hasn't raced since Cup time, so fresh up. But did trial nicely here at our last meeting just a week ago. So I think Recording to Win can race well. And in for third, number 3, a stablemate of Recording to Win in Looking for You. Alice Lindsay aboard. Should be improved by its first up run here on the 24th of October. That was behind Patriot Day. So my numbers in the first, 2, 5 and 3. The second's the LJ Hooker Darwin Handicap. It's the highest graded race on the day. It's an average benchmark event, an average benchmark of 70 and also over 1200 metres. Numbers in the second, another 5-horse field, are 2, 1 and 3. Divine Red for me here, Jared Todd and Gary Clark, the combo. Another one that was a little disappointing last time, but saying that, did take on the captain at weight for age, and obviously this is down in grade. Was a good win at the start before over the trip of 1200. In fact, has won twice over this trip of 1200 metres, and I think Divine Red can get back to his best form on Saturday. 2 on top. To beat the obvious danger, number 1, Salty. Alice Lindsay claims the 2 kilograms, takes that weight down from 59 to 57 kgs. He's won his last 3, Salty, racing really, really well for Phil Cole. Coming back in trip from the 1300 to the 1200, maybe a little query, but certainly must be very hard to beat. And in for third, number 3, the stablemate Vunavalu. Very good winner here the other day, beating Patriot Day. He's going up 200 metres in trip, up from the 1000 to the 1200 metres. He sometimes struggles a little bit at 12 and 1300 metres, so that's a little bit of a query, but he's racing so well we must include 2, 1 and 3 in the second. Now we get to a couple of the bigger fields of the day. This one, race 3, the TRNT off the track Trobus Handicap. It's for the Class 2 gallopers, our third 1200 metre race of the day. Numbers in the third, 2, 1 and 5. Made this my best bet of the day, number 2, Dizzy Miss Lizzie, trained by Gary Clark. So I'm going for Clarkie to win the first 3 on the day. Kimmy Gladwin takes the mount here. This horse has only had the 1 start in Darwin. That was on Melbourne Cup Day. And in this grade of Class 2, over 1100 metres, failed by the barest possible margin behind Mini Boom. The step up and tripped by 100 metres should really help Dizzy Miss Lizzie. Should be improved by the first run on the track, and looks the horse to beat for mine in race 3. 2 on top. To beat number 1, Crazy Lad, Jared Todd for Gary LaFoe. Consistent type, a 2nd and 2/3 his last 3 runs, the most recent behind Mini Boom on Melbourne Cup Day. Sure to be hard to beat. And in for third, a last start winner, number 5, She Shines Bright for Pat Johnson and Stan Sakos. One here on Melbourne Cup Day, beating Exact Replica. Drops back in trip a little bit, maybe a query, but certainly racing well enough to be included. 2, 1 and 5 in race 3. And one more page, we go to the last, our 4th event on the day. It's the Silks Darwin Handicap, a 0 to 58. This one over 1100 metres, and my numbers here are 2, 4 and 5. Going here with a very consistent Eo Kaleo, trained by Pat Johnson and Wayne Davis in the saddle. Last 4 starts, 3 seconds and a third, so really knocking on the door. Dropping back in trip from the 1200 to the 1100 may be a query, but it's racing so well, and I'm sure Pat's got his horse fresh enough and ready to win. 2 on top. To beat 4, Grinzinger Brew, trained by Jason Manning, Vanessa Arnott in the saddle. It's had to freshen up, hasn't raced since the 4th of September when it finished second. That was over 1,600 metres behind My Tradition. But go back to carnival time and this horse finished third behind the very smart Lanagira over this trip of 1,100 metres. I think in a fresh state, Grinzinger Brew will be right at home over the trip, so I've got it in to run second. And in for third, number 5, Dancer's Kin. Much better run last time out, last week in fact, behind Manly Cove. Manly Cove looks a pretty smart conveyance. And Dancer's Kin from the Chris Pollard stable with Barry Huppert's aboard. I think the step up 100 metres from the 1,000 to the 1,100 will suit. In the last, 2, 4 and 5 are my numbers. Best bets of the day come up in race 3, number 2, Dizzy Miss Lizzie, not easy to say that one for Craig Sand. Dizzy Miss Lizzie, race 3, number 2. And in the 4th, we'll go number 2, Eo Kaleo. Race 4, number 2, Eo Kaleo. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. Only a short version this week with the 4 races. And we'll be back again in a fortnight in advance of our first December meeting. That's the 5th of December. And we race on 3 consecutive Saturdays in the final month of 2020. In the meantime, good luck and good punting.